Welcome back to Formula 602, where right off the bat, we have to apologize for completely forgetting that Australia happened. Um, we, we were both on a different planet and we lost an entire race.
I don't- I
Um,
feel like we barely touched on the week before where it was. Maybe.
yeah, I feel like most of the conversation was accurate. It's just we were talking about Saudi Arabia and it was not Saudi Arabia, but most of what we talked about actually did happen in Australia. We were just misremembering the what and where.
Yeah. I mean, if you're coming here for all facts, that's on you, I think.
Clearly, after our conversation about sprint format, which
Not right.
is actually really cool. I
Right.
actually really enjoyed watching the sprint. Cadell actually watched it with me, and we had a lot of fun with it. Real fast. It took like 45 minutes, even with a yellow flag out there. So great time. I think
feel
he's
like
hit the
I was
lid.
half right, like a third right. Like some of the
Yeah,
things I remembered were right, but like that it's like a race, I didn't really remember. But yeah, you know.
in a season of horrible baseball bets, I actually hit the winner on the sprint.
Oh,
So
Leclerc.
very excited for that. That was a feather in my cap.
Yeah,
Uh, Azerbaijan, kind of boring race,
yeah,
but that track is beautiful.
yeah. There's a lot of really cool tracks. I feel like they do, especially like as the not tracks, the street courses are my favorite. I love seeing like the cities and seeing them drive around. Um, all of the different ones. Perfect intro to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on Azerbaijan. It happened. Verstappen continues to be fantastic, but
Yeah, but Perez won. Let's go. And he's tightening up the race too, and he's messing with the bets. If you look at like the favorites, I mean it's Verstappen every week, but like the margin is very small this week. And Perez is like, number two. And then Leclerc.
well, I guess I'll just jump ahead since you brought up the betting. I found Red Bull minus 105 to have the fastest time in qualifying.
Oh,
So essentially, even money for one of the Red Bull drivers to win qualifying. So I put that down. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
yeah. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it. It's just so frustrating that every time is like, well, Verstappen should win. He will see if anyone else can race, but like, you should win. Like, I just want someone else to, be a favorite, but here we are. It's all right.
I think two dogs are killing each other at the dog park. I don't know if that's coming through or not on the audio, but it is like
It wasn't until you just said that and then I heard it.
I'm recording outside because NBA playoffs are just wrapping up here, and it's a little rambunctious inside.
I'm sure. Is Kendall losing it?
It's a good game. The Celtics blew out the Sixers here, but hey, you're not here for shitty NBA talk. You're here for shitty F1 talk.
That's us.
So we
We've
have our
got all
first
of your
USA race.
non-facts close to accurate, probably not great advice.
Fair, but I mean, you shouldn't come here for advice because we barely know what we're talking about.
That's true.
I'm
I
catching
mean,
up
though, I
though.
feel like no one does. Every single person could film and be like, oh, go for Verstappen. And they're basically right. And they could like literally know nothing about it. So at least we like come with the upsets or the like little like hopefuls.
I'm getting dialed in. I'm starting to learn this sport, and I am very excited for it to finally come to the best country for hosting sporting events. I'll just say it. I mean, come on. Anything they can do, we can do better. Give me Miami.
I mean, we're the only country that has 3 races now.
I think we're the only country that even has 2, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, we were the only, right. We only had Austin we've had forever. But that's the only one that was there. And then, thanks to Netflix, they added Miami. The first race back, I believe, um, after COVID, after when it opened back up, I'm pretty sure, which is again when, the Netflix series really, really fired up. And then now they've added a third this year. What's up?
A beautiful track, really shows off the city.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I love Miami. The
I'm
city.
very excited to see how it plays.
Yeah.
Is it faster? Is it slower?
I believe it's slower than last week. I think last week is among the faster tracks.
It had those long DRS zones.
Yeah.
Which, drivers bitched about them shortening them, but it is what it is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, it's super fun. I like the sprints. I think they're cool. I think they're super fun to see them go 200 and something mile per hour is freaking wild.
I'm
Especially
really
so
excited.
fast.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see a little more action. I think it was McLaren and Alpine when they decided to play games with their tires, really gummed up half the damn field.
Yeah.
So, by the end, we were watching, I think it was the race 6, 7, 8 was the only spots that were still in contention because everybody else is either so far out in front or so far behind.
Right.
That there are only a couple spots where people are actually fighting for position. So I'm hoping that
totally.
Miami is a little more exciting.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of F1 stuff this weekend. I guess some people really enjoy the earn your spot in the starting grid and never pass and just drive in a straight line kind of racing.
Right.
And while I can really appreciate the technical aspect of that, as a new fan who's also trying to get other sports fans into it, it's really, really hard to be like, hey, you want to watch a hour-long race where no one passes anyone?
Right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and I totally what you're saying. I know a lot of people that are very technical that they love pre-quali, all of that just as much as they like the race day. But I am under the same, I want a good race every time. That's, I think, why I'm so annoyed with Verstappen is he's always so far ahead of everyone that it makes it not oh, okay, who's going to end up in 8th? For get 7 points for the constructors cup. That to me is definitely takes away from the excitement of the sport. But I mean, I definitely agree. I get that there's so much technical work that goes into everything pre the race. But yeah, you're totally right.
It's kind of what I was saying to Kendall. It's there's no better boxer in the history of boxing than Mayweather. Because he perfected the sport from a technical standpoint. But it's so boring. It's so boring to watch. But you can appreciate it. Like he's the ultimate technical boxer. There's no heart, there's no soul, it's all technique.
Right.
And I mean there's something to be said for that. But that's not what I want when I'm seeing cars go 200 miles an hour. So
totally, 100%. Which I feel again the street tracks lend more to passing accidents or not, or tighter racing because they can't get as far ahead, I mean, we got a long time, but Monte Carlo, I've said it a million times, but is, I don't know about on here, but is one of my favorite places. One, because I want to go there and it looks beautiful, but two, because they're not going very fast because those streets are as old as it gets. So it's that I think makes for much funner racing. I like when they can go 200 miles per hour, but I also appreciate when it's technical turns and they can't pass each other like crazy. And, they need, it's making the right moves when, I like that kind of racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get a little bit of that. I have not. Bad host. I have not looked at the overhead of Miami's track yet, so I have no idea what the layout is. I was trying to surprise myself with qualifying. I kind of want to just absorb it because this is the race that other F1 people have told me this is the one to watch. Obviously Monaco is Monaco, and Vegas, everyone's super excited for, but we really don't know what that's going to look like. So they're like, okay,
Totally.
like watch Miami because this is going to be different than everything else we've done so far. So
100%. I love like the Miami track is super fun again, and I love the city and the race. So I think this is the third year for it now, if I remember correctly. This is the part where facts don't matter, something like that. But I feel like once they, like it seems like a lot of the races they change things based on what's going well or bad. So I feel like now 3 races in, again they're gonna, you can get to, kind of the rawness of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
very excited. What do you have winning?
Uh, like who is supposed to win, or like
Who's going to win? Who wins it?
I want Leclerc. I still
I
last week was bummed that he couldn't hold out and catch him. So I'm going Leclerc again. Come on.
I am also going Leclerc,
We love
but
him.
I really, really wanted Lewis Hamilton. Those Mercedes are driving like shit still.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. That's the thing that's so frustrating. I love them so much, and I actually love George Russell too. I love George Russell. I love um Lewis Hamilton. Like Lewis Hamilton's my favorite. He was like my first pick. I I love him, but yeah, they just are not competing. Not even close.
Yeah, I feel like he fits the vibe of Miami very well. I'd like to pick him. The value gets sucked out of it if he qualifies well, but it's hard to just bet their Mercedes cars when they suck.
Yeah. I'm
Just
super
not that good.
confused what happened, why they're not even competing. And it's not even like just the Red Bull aspect, which I feel like, right, like it's been for the last year, well, it was such a blowout with Red Bull, but like the last 2 years, it's been Mercedes, Red Bull, who was going to win, the drivers, it felt closer. Um, and this year, it's like Lewis Hamilton, I think, is one of the best racers of all time. I mean, I think Verstappen is definitely going to be there or potentially surpass, Lewis Hamilton too on wins. But like in my mind, he's still one of the best racers of all time, and he's not even contention. He's not even making it on pole. He's not finishing. I mean, barely top five. Like, and it's crazy to see like someone who did not change teams has been with the same team for his whole, his whole career, I think. And like, I just don't understand. It's so sad.
You look at the Constructor Cup standings, and Rebel's like 90 points out in front
Yeah.
after 4 races.
Right.
I mean, you really see the breakdown of it's Red Bull and it's everybody else.
Yeah, totally.
But
Totally.
I'll go with Chucky. Chucky's my pick for this weekend, but I don't know how Red Bull loses.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, if I wanted to call an upset, I kind of want it to be Perez. I mean, I feel like Red Bull's going to have to start picking their favorites as they do. You watch it kind of as it gets closer more to the end of the year, but they'll start, saying like, hey, you need to they will say, Perez, you need to let Verstappen pass. And they have to do it. And I feel like with them battling it out, getting closer and closer, like I'd love Perez to keep like shoving it at least
6 points. 6 points. That's all it's between them right now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because I love Perez too. And I don't hate Verstappen like everybody does. I'm just tired of it being like a blowout.
That's fair.
I know
Take it a
so
little
many people
closer.
hate him because he's an asshole, but like also there's a lot. Those guys do not get that level without being some form of cocky and confident. It's just not possible. I mean, there's 20 racers out of all the people that want to drive F1 in the world. Like they have to be cocky. I get it. Like I'm not mad at it.
All right, we'll see what happens in Miami. Maybe we get a little bit of a tighter race. Maybe a little more excitement in the middle laps. But I'm
I
hopeful.
kind of
I'm
want
really
to. Are
hopeful.
you calling like what's your upset? What's your like if you had a? You're pulling for Leclerc, but he's like number. I think he's currently third or whatever on the like bets. So who would be your
All right.
upset?
How's this? Alcon the podium.
Okay, I like that.
Both McLarens in the top 12.
Both McLarens in the top 12. That's fun. I like that. I'll go. I feel like the Ferraris are gonna be up there. I would like to do like both Aston Martins. Like a little more of like a little less dot. Like
both Aston Martin's top what?
like top 12.
Well, they're gonna be top 12.
I mean, I guess that's true.
Come on, get a little more bold.
Ugh. Come on, you can't do what like Alfa Romeo. I'm gonna go both 2 hours.
Hey, how about the American kid to have a top 10 finish?
Honestly, I like him pulling it in, and it's his home country race. I'm pretty sure not from Miami. Don't want.
I don't think he's got it in him, but
I would love that. Can you imagine if he has it because it's home? I would love that.
come on, all right. So I can get behind that. How about like Sargent, like top 15?
Yeah, I'll go Sergeant top 10. Like
okay, see,
top 10.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
I can't wait. Man. We'll do a shot on it.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. Hey, Miami, 12:30 Arizona time.
Yeah.
On Sunday, which makes it a post-brunch activity versus the last one, which was before anyone was awake.
I was like pre-Flip Cup on your schedule?
Yep.
I looked at it. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the air, but I'm hoping that maybe some like will ESPN, I wonder, have it because it's American.
Yep. Every race. ESPN has every single F1 race.
Okay. Oh, but I'm flying American. They don't have TVs. Shout out Delta. Dang it. Oh no, you know what? I'm flying Southwest. They definitely don't have TVs.
Yeah, pay for the internet and stream it on your phone.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I know the one time I'm gonna be freaking like first weekend I work and I can't actually watch a race that's at a normal hour.
Well, you can just watch it recorded like you did with all the other ones.
That's true. I'm gonna wake up before him.
One more thing I got to do before we go. I have to start plugging Row Show. Bachelor is back June 26th.
Oh
so
my
Fantasy Bachelor time is almost here. If you like fantasy or you like trash reality shows, check out the Rose League. We do fantasy picks every single week on 602 Row Show. Check it out.
That one has more like I feel like a little more understanding of how ABC picks and how ABC like really rules the world versus like, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't bet sports and I can't pick F1 winners, but I damn sure am good at Fantasy Bachelor. So
yeah. Who is it? It's a guy this time, right?
It's a girl. It's a Bachelorette. It's Charity.
Oh, that's right. I did watch that. At the end of that, she's boring. But I'm sure she'll have lots of.
You're not wrong.
I'm sure she'll have lots of guys like whatever, like all over the board. That's what they always do.
Yeah, we'll try to keep the plugs to a minimum, but maybe I can trick Kate into coming on for a Bachelorette preview show.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just pick whatever Jimmy Kimmel picks. He does like really well too.
Jesus. Yeah, he cheats. He cheats like I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say my mom, like I remember back in the day when we used to watch, we would actually watch it, like care about it, watch it. And she would reality Steve every time. And I'm like, you're gonna watch it? She's like, well, I don't care about the surprise of it. And I was like, what?
It's the drama. I live for the drama.
I mean, I just can't watch 21-year-olds cry about how they're never going to find love. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, you know, they were realistic about the fact that it's 30 girls or 25, whatever, whenever they bump it back and forth. Like, your odds aren't great, but like, you're going to go around for a week or 3 months or whatever long it takes to film that, getting drunk and partying. Like, just enjoy that.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Don't be like, this was my only chance and he doesn't love me. But
Well, that was way more Bachelor talk than I was planning on giving you guys, but this has been Formula
maybe
602.
do a Bachelor with F1 drivers.
No,
and
no, no,
badges
no,
of
no,
fights,
no.
like over those boys. That'd be fun. I'm in.
Pitch it. There's the pitch. We'll put it together. We'll send it to ESPN. Thanks for joining us, guys. Enjoy Miami, and we will see you next time.
Bye.